What is going on, guys? Bruin Steel here. Welcome back to another WWE broadcast. I'm your host, Bruin Steel, and I am joined by Canadian Yorker, and we are recapping the WWE Monday Night Raw, which took place June 3rd, 2024, 2024, excuse me, and it took place in the Hershey, Pennsylvania. And what a Monday Night Raw. How are you doing tonight, Canadian Yorker?
Doing, I'm doing great tonight. How about yourself?
Great, awesome. It's hot, it's summer. Let's get started. But before we get started, just want to let you guys know that we did a Smackdown broadcast for last week, but I didn't upload it on my channel because I actually was at the event last week on Friday. I was there live, so I didn't do a broadcast on my channel, but we did one on the WWE Wrestling Bros channel, which is you'll find it in the playlist of my YouTube playlist and WWE stuff. So be sure to check that out. WWE Wrestling Bros is our wrestling channel, so be sure to check that out. The broadcast that we did for when I was at the event is there, so be sure to check that out since it's not on my channel. So let's get started. So the first segment of the Monday Night Raw, we got Liv Morgan. She welcomes the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour. Liv Morgan is your Women's World Championship as she successfully defended it against Becky Lynch last week in a steel cage match due to huge interference. Dominic Mysterio Judgment Day, it was crazy. But Liv Morgan opens up Monday Night Raw and she just brags about what she did. She did what no other woman in the division could do, and that's take out Rhea Ripley. And she put Becky. She said she put Becky Lynch into early retirement, and she's like, "Do you know what had the cherry? What do you know what the cherry on top of all this? Kissing Dominic Mysterio, stealing Mommy's boy." And that's when Dominic Mysterio interrupts Liv Morgan, and that's when Dom says to her, "I don't know what kind of game you're trying to play." Let's me say. It's like mommy isn't playing the same game, and he said that once Rhea comes back, she's gonna kill you. And Liv Morgan said that maybe she's probably gonna kill you for kissing me. Well, she didn't say that. She said that well, she's probably gonna kill you, probably because Dominic kissed Liv or Liv kissed him, and Liv kind of in her horny state. She said maybe I can do it. Maybe I can promise I'll make it all worth it. And then she started to trap Dom, in the corner and said, "How long you're gonna lie to yourself?" And then basically, she trapped Dom in the corner, and then she started doing this to him.
Caressing him.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that's when Finn Balor came and saved the day, and said, "Hey, back off. This has been enough. He doesn't want anything to do with you." So Finn Balor and Liv Morgan having a confrontation, and he said the Judgment Day doesn't want anything to do with Liv, and Liv said, "What if I don't want to go? And what if Dom doesn't want to go? But I will go now." And then once again, Liv Morgan plays with Dominic Care, and he got caught again. Well, after Liv played with his hair, what his expression was like, and then just so that pretty much ends the segment. So Jesus, if I was Dom, I would go for that ass. I mean, like literally. But what are your thoughts on this?
Oh man, we have been talking about this over the past few
I
weeks. I
mean, I didn't
mean,
think. I
over,
mean, I expected Liv to like steal Dom from Rhea, but I didn't expect it to be this like intense.
oh, I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. I mean, on the Wrestling Bros channel, I've been doing talks about this. I mean, they're taking a sip of water, trying to express how intense this is. You're like, oh, this is too intense for me. Whew, yeah. But let me tell you something. Um, like I said, I believe that this is Liv Morgan is not done with Rhea Ripley. This is not the end of Liv Morgan's revenge tour. Yes, Liv Morgan won the the Women's World Heavyweight Championship, but this is not the end of it because Liv Morgan said she was going to take everything from Rhea Ripley, everything. She didn't just want her her championship. She got her championship. That's wonderful. She got it. She got the
But
revenge
basically,
against her.
basically, the next step is to steal Dom and then try to gain the Judgment Day's trust and respect, and then that's gonna turn Liv Morgan into a heel, and maybe after a while, because God knows how long Rhea Ripley is out from injury. Who knows? But I always said that, oh, Rhea Ripley is going to return at the SummerSlam, or even maybe earlier than that. But I don't know how long the extent of her injury is. Like it depends on it. Basically depends on how long Rhea Ripley's out for. And all I can say is when she's returned, that's basically how long Liv is going to hold on to the title. Like Liv Morgan, she's going to hold on to the title until Rhea Ripley comes back, and God knows when that's going to be.
Yeah, that's true. I just wanted to say that also. You mentioned before that Liv Morgan and Finn Balor have a history together, right?
Yeah,
And so it
that's
won't
when
be it
Finn
won't
wasn't even on Judgment Day. That's when AJ Styles, that's when Liv and Finn Balor teamed up against Edge, Rhea. I think it was Edge, Rhea, and Damian. I think something like that, or something like.
yeah. So I was just gonna say that this goes back. I mean, this is way before Liv Morgan's revenge tour even occurred. I mean, if Liv Morgan wins over Dominic Mysterio, she's definitely gonna win
I
over
mean,
Finn Balor too, and
we've
Damian
seen Liv
Priest.
Morgan try to,
Yeah,
get the judgment and get into the judgment's head. Try to earn their respect. We've seen a backstage segment of JD McDonough talking to Liv Morgan. Damon Priest
yeah.
even said that he started talking to Liv Morgan. Like,
Exactly. These guys are going to get Liv Morgan is going to weasel her way into the Judgment Day and win the Judgment Day over, and they are going to live and they are going to kick out Rhea Ripley out of the Judgment Day. That's gonna happen.
Damon,
That's gonna
and
happen
I
for a
still
fact.
think they're gonna kick Damon Priest out of the Judgment Day. I can imagine maybe Rhea Ripley coming back. I think this is gonna be like that's gonna be crazy if two people from the Judgment Day get kicked out at the same time. Imagine this. Imagine Rhea comes back. Liv Morgan beats her down, resulting of Rhea Ripley getting kicked out. Imagine if Damon Priest gets turned on the same night as Rhea Ripley. Like so, Rhea Ripley and Damon Priest both get turned on at the same time that night.
Yeah,
At the same time. Imagine Rhea Ripley and Damon Priest getting attacked and getting kicked out of the Judgment Day at the same time. That would be crazy. And
yeah,
they would just introduce new members. They will introduce Carlito and Liv, and then Carlito would just start, and then they would just betray Rhea Ripley and Damon, and then the whole squad would just beat up Rhea Ripley and Damon. Imagine.
yeah. That would be wild. It would be similar to the situation that happened. I'm not gonna say it's similar to what's the name of the group again? Damage Control. It's not going to be similar to Damage Control with Asuka, with the group going against Asuka and then Asuka turning on her allies and joining the Damage Control. Ooh, that would be wild. If something like that situation types of happen, if that would be totally
All right.
unexpected. That would
So
take the
it
Judgment
was a
Day to
good
the next
it
level.
was a good talk. Yeah, we can talk more about this whole Liv situation. She's just a like horny psychopath. That's what it is. But moving on to the next part of the show, we got the first match. We got Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser. So interesting thing is that this was actually a dark match when I went to SmackDown. So when I was at SmackDown Live, this was a dark match between Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser. Full match is on my channel, guys. So if you want to check that out. But this was just I think that dark match was just a warm up. But we got Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser starting a feud. Obviously, Sheamus wants to revenge Ludwig Kaiser from taking out his knee during his match against Gunther in the King of the Ring tournament. And this was a like a hard hitting match. Holy shit! You can see Sheamus's bad leg once again. A storyline of Sheamus's bad leg, and Ludwig Kaiser took advantage of that, targeting Sheamus's bad leg, and there was just chop after chop. It was so bad. Sheamus's leg was so bad. At one point, the referee was about to stop the match due to referee stoppage, but then Sheamus, the warrior that he is, that he likes to fight, he grabbed the referee, said that no, don't stop the match. I can still fight. You can see the marks on his chest. You see his bad leg. I mean, that's a fighter right there. But you know his bad leg. Sheamus, I feel bad for him because he couldn't even hit the bro kick. He had the bad leg. He tried white noise at the top of the rope, but his leg still gave in. Couldn't do it. Ludwig Kaiser with a from the top rope connecting with a running annualizer to the chest. I think it was a hard stomp on Sheamus' chest. Ludwig Kaiser 1, 2, 3. Ludwig Kaiser gets the biggest upset, winning over Sheamus by pinfall. Ludwig Kaiser defeats Sheamus by pinfall. What are your thoughts? Shocking defeat. I feel for Sheamus. I mean, all I can say is the only reason Ludwig Kaiser is because Sheamus had a bad leg. I can guarantee you, if Sheamus was 100% healthy, he would have whooped that ass.
Yeah, I get it. It makes sense. Ludwig Kaiser's just doing the same thing that Gunther does, and that's target the enemy's weak points and just exploit it. That's what he does. He's definitely, you can tell by looking at his matches and learning that he's been learning a lot from Gunther, and putting what he's learned from Gunther into practice and getting better as a wrestler. We can definitely see him challenging, for a championship in the future, as Gunther challenges for the world heavyweight title. Uh, Ludwig Kaiser can challenge for like the Intercontinental title. I mean, that would really put Imperium on the map right there. It Ludwig Kaiser is really improving as a wrestler. Um, it sucks for Sheamus because Sheamus is one of the greats to grace the ring. It's just sad to see that for him to go out like that is sad. He just definitely has to get back to full health and make sure that he can be, just get himself back to full health and recover from his injury, keep on improving, and just keep on trying to succeed and win more matches.
Yeah, because this leg injury, it's like he's been dealing with since the King of the Ring tournament, so it's a while. So I just feel like Sheamus, glad that you're back, but this your health is more important than competing. It's like after this match, I guaranteed you we probably won't see Sheamus for a while. He needs to take a break. It's not a good idea coming. It's not a good idea coming back next week to compete in another match. Like I know that you lost, but your health is important. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Sheamus showed up next week on Raw and demand a rematch. But man, you need a rest. Your knee is not 100%, and this match showed you that cost you this match against Ulrich Kaiser. Um, take a rest, Celtic Warrior. You deserve it. Rest that knee, rest that leg. I think it was just the leg. It might have been the knee. I'm not sure. I think it was the knee. But take a rest, Sheamus. You deserve it. But moving on to the next match, we got Finn Balor versus Dragon Lee. Obviously, there's they have horrendous disrespect to each other. What happened to them last week? So they now we got Dragon Lee versus Finn Balor for the first time. So this match was exciting. Dragon Lee with some nice moves. Finn Balor, showing that he can do what he do. Dragon Lee was going to take advantage. I think Dragon Lee could have won the match, but then the number game. It's like, how is it fair? First, it was Carlito attacked Dragon Lee when the referee had his back, and then that's when I believe Rey Mysterio and Braun Strowman came out to save the day. Um, and then the rest of the Judgment Day came out and distracted Dragon Lee. Finn Balor was able to capitalize, and Finn Balor hit the coup de grace on Dragon Lee to get the win. Finn Balor defeats Dragon Lee thanks to a distraction by Judgment Day and Carlito. Excuse me. That's when, after the match, is when Braun Strowman and Rey Mysterio comes out and aids Dragon Lee when Judgment Day starts beating up Dragon Lee. Not during the match, sorry, it was after. And then Braun Strowman is this huge big guy taking out everyone, and that made the Judgment Day retreat. So, but because of that, Finn Balor defeats Dragon Lee by pinfall. But before I ask you for what your thoughts, imagine this: imagine Braun Strowman on LWO. Imagine, because this is like the second time we've seen Braun Strowman with Rey Mysterio. Like, imagine if they recruit. Imagine if LWO recruited Braun Strowman. They'll be unstoppable. But how you feel about this match? And you see how the
So,
brothers see how Braun Strowman helped Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio out. Like, imagine that if LWO had that monster on their team. I mean, everyone would be
well,
running away from LWO. Like, you could have had that when you had your feud against like Ganatel Vasma. Santos will be running around. Santos will be looking at this guy and it's like, this guy's huge, hell no. And then Santos will be running the opposite direction, crying like a bitch. So,
funny thing, they need this. They need Braun Strowman to be there
but the
because
thing
Braun
is, like,
Strowman is a big
I mean,
guy.
but the thing is,
And
like, I'm not saying that this is like a country racism thing, but like, he'll be the first non-Spanish guy on their team.
well, they have Judgment Day has
I mean,
Finn Balor.
they're all like they're all like Spanish though. Like Celine Vega, Andrade, they're all like can speak Spanish. Imagine if Braun Strowman
Yeah.
just spoke with actually can speak perfect Spanish.
That's the thing, though. Braun Strowman doesn't need to talk. All Braun Strowman
He'll
needs to
be he'll be
do
the
is look at
LWO's
you
like
and
mascot.
yes, he can be the LWO's mascot. He can be the guy that's just the enforcer. Like you have the bloodline. Solo Sokoa was the bloodline. He didn't need to do anything. He just did the heavy hitting and didn't say much. I mean, it was the same thing with Braun Strowman. All Braun Strowman really has to do is not say anything. And if someone gets in trouble, he's there to help
I
them
mean, I
out
feel
and
like
get
he'll
them
be a
out of it.
perfect I mean, I feel like he will be a perfect fit for LWO, but I mean like
But the thing is, if the LWO, they're all normal size, average size guys. They're not really big guys. Braun Strowman is the big guy that can help them
imagine
stand against
imagine a huge guy
Damian
and
Priest.
imagine in Braun Strowman, you got Braun Strowman and a tiny Dragon Lee teaming up together.
You know, that would
We
be
have seen
perfect.
Braun Strowman team up with Ricochet. That's a height difference right there, and they work so good as a team.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that'd be funny. I'll be actually happy if LWO recruits Braun Strowman to LWO. That'd be funny.
No, LWO they need someone like Braun Strowman who can help them
And then
fight against Judgment.
Braun Strowman's gonna betray Ray, crushing him.
Oh God, we don't need another
Imagine.
betrayal.
Uh, all right, moving on to the next part of Monday Night Raw. We got Sami Zayn and Alpha Academy segment. So first is Sami Zayn making his entrance, and he talks about Chad Gable. He said that he wants Chad Gable to come out and go man to man, talk about how we can end this. But then Maxine Tabri, Tozawa, and Otis comes out. Debris says, I'm sorry, Sammy. Chad told us that he doesn't deserve his time, respect. And then Sami Zayn said that you don't have to do this, Maxine. You don't have to do that. So basically, he read out a note from Gable himself. It says, Sammy, you really think you can turn my students against me? Sammy, you're a living proof that Michijins can take a pathetic excuse of a human being. He goes on to talk about how Otis couldn't hold on to Money in the Bank contract, which was, oh God, come on. And then he went on to say Maxine was like another whatever. It's like spoiled Taylor Swift non whatever girl whatever. And then he said that the only way this ends is to give me his Intercontinental Championship match, and then Sami then says, yes, sure, I will defend the title at Clash of the Castle. So it's announced that Clash of the Castle is going to be Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable once again. And that's when Sami Zayn tells Maxine Tozawa, Otis, you need to break free from Chad Gable. He said that he's been in that shoe before. He is talking about the bloodline. If you're don't know what I'm talking about, he was in the bloodline. He couldn't break free. He always listened to Roman, but then he broke free. But then he gets attacked by Chad Gable from behind. It was all a setup, and then that's when things didn't go well. That's when I think Chad Gable asked Otis to punch Sammy in the face. Otis didn't want to do that, and then Chad Gable started getting into Otis's face again, slapped him, and then that's when Tozawa came to the rescue. Tozawa pulled him away, and that's when Chad Gable got into Tozawa's face, almost slapped him, started pushing him, and that's when Maxine the Breed stopped Chad Gable from bullying Tozawa more, and that's when Chad Gable tried to make fun of Maxine. Said, "Oh, you're gonna cry? Get on your knees and beg." I can't believe Maxine went on her knees and begged like this, and then you just look like a fool. Why would you listen to that? And then that's when Chad Gable even bullied Tozawa and Maxine even more, and that's when Otis had enough. That's when Otis stepped in, and people thought he was gonna go snap at Chad, but he just stood angry in Chad's face. That's when Sami Zayn got the advantage, came back up and attacked Chad Gable. And then that's when Otis and Maxine and Tozawa tried to leave the ring, but then Chad Gable pushed Sami Zayn into both Maxine and Tozawa, making them fall off the apron. And that's when Sami was like, because clearly Otis didn't see what happened, but then Chad Gable started to blame it on Sami. Sami said that it was Chad, but then for some reason Otis saw maybe Chad is right, so because of that, Otis body slammed Sami Zayn to the ground, and then left the ring carrying Maxine and Tozawa, and that's when um, Chad Gable left the ring with Sami Zayn's championship belt, and then just raised it in the air while Sami was helpless. So, what a disgusting man. What are your thoughts on this segment?
Yeah, it's a terrible, terrible situation you see going on with um, with Alpha Academy. These people don't have to be putting up with this crap from Chad Gable. Chad Gable was complaining, whining, just being a whiny little man that he is. He's just complaining. He's developed a Napoleon complex. That's what he has developed. I mean, honestly, he's gotten jealous. He wants to be the man. He wants to be. He's like those little Chihuahua dogs. They just bark, 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 bark at you, and because they think they're so tough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we know Chad Gable is a great. He's a wrestler. He's a great wrestler. However, he has to prove himself by actually being the boss, and he's turned into a tyrant of the Alpha Academy. He's not. He hasn't called them his friends. He's turned them into his servants now. He's made himself to be the person that controls the Alpha Academy and doesn't treat them like people. He treats them like servants and slaves. And it's just tough to see them go through all this stuff because they don't want him to hurt anyone. They don't want Otis, Tozawa, and Maxine. I think this is the third time. This is the first time that I've seen Otis get slapped in the face right in front of Otis, in front of Maxine and Tozawa. They've never seen it happen before them in front of them. But in the first two times, it did not happen. It happened between Otis and Chad Gable. Chad Gable slapped Otis twice. It's not in front of Maxine and Tozawa. But this is the first time that Otis and Maxine have seen. I'm sorry, Tozawa and Maxine have seen Chad Gable. I mean, Otis gets slapped in the face by Chad Gable, and that actually sends a message to the others. Say, don't do this. This is what's going to happen to you. It's just kind of messed up that that Chad Gable would take it that far. He takes it. He makes it personal, and
So
something's going to
interesting
happen.
is
Otis.
like it's going to be Chad Gable versus Sami Zayn. So there's a lot of things that can happen. People are saying that Chad Gable is gonna win the Intercontinental Championship. People are gonna be like, this is the time where the Creed brothers are gonna turn heel and help Chad Gable leaving the Alpha Academy. Like Chad is gonna get help from uh, out of nowhere heel faction of Creed brothers, or we can actually see Otis finally step up to Chad Gable and cost him the match, and then just end it right there. That's just gonna start a feud between Otis and Chad. They're saying Clash of the Castle is when Otis is gonna stand up to himself and then finally snap, and then just like maybe like push or slap or like attack Chad Gable out of nowhere, and that's gonna receive a huge pop.
Yeah, I agree. I agree, and I agree with Sami
But we
saying
can
that
talk
they
about
did they
that when we
definitely need to
do
bring
our
Cody
Clash at
out
the
the shot.
Castle. We can do that when we do our Clash of the Castle predictions next week because Clash of the Castle, guys, is next Saturday, so it's right around the
Oh,
corner. Yeah, so it's not this
why this?
Saturday. It's not this Saturday. It's the following next Saturday. So it's insane.
Why? I gotta ask this question. Why is it every time we do our chats, we always have something going on where the following week we have something like Clash of the Castle Backlash in a week from now. I mean, it's kind of
Yeah,
wild, but
but
it is what
we
it
got a
is.
lot of matches to go, and then oh my god, this video is gonna be long. But going on to the next match, we got Ricochet versus Bron Breakker. So this is interesting. Bron Breakker finally has a normal match on Raw, but still, Adam Pearce told Bron Breakker, "Oh, the only reason why you're in this match is because Ricochet requested it." You know, Bron Breakker has that, has that temper, and then Adam Pearce fined him like triple or whatever and suspended him. But Ricochet did put up a fight against Bron Breakker, but it wasn't enough. Bron Breakker athleticism, um, it wasn't enough for Ricochet. Ricochet did put up a fight, kudos to that. But then Bron Breakker with a huge spear, Bron Breakker defeats Ricochet by pitfall. But then that's when we see Bron Breakker once again out of control. He wants to destroy Ricochet. He wants to end his career. He at first he slammed Ricochet into the steel steps and then grabbed the steel step and was going to hit him with it, and that's when the referees came out to stop Bron Breakker. That's when even Dragunov comes out and saves Ricochet. Dragunov attacks Bron Breakker, sending him across the barricade. So Bron Breakker defeats Ricochet by pitfall, and then announced that Dragunov will go one-on-one with Bron Breakker next week. That's gonna be a hell of a match. What are your thoughts?
It's great to see like that. Man, Ricochet. I wish we could see Ricochet getting more matches, getting more push. But it's just like it's not his time right now. And I mean, it's great to see that he put up a great fight against Braun Breaker because Ricochet has been an amazing athlete, amazing wrestler. But it wasn't enough for him. For Braun Breaker, it's great to see him get that win against Ricochet. He definitely took it too far with trying to end Ricochet's career and or worse. I mean, honestly, to do it in front of Samantha right there. I mean, for every single match that Ricochet has, it must be really frightening to see Ricochet, almost get his career taken out right there in front of her. I mean, that would have been pretty scary for Samantha to see that happen. But it's good that Dragunov came in and saved Ricochet from that him getting a career-ending injury or worse. I'd say Dragunov definitely should get that match against Braun
It's
Breaker
it's
because
it's
Braun
announced,
Breaker
so it's
tried
gonna
to
happen. It's gonna
take him
happen.
out.
Dragunov versus Braun Breaker.
Yeah, I think Dragunov tried to was almost taken out by Braun Breaker before, right?
I think, and then Ricochet took the spear. Actually, it was Ricochet that took the spear. I don't think so. I don't know.
Well,
Um,
well
but besides that, let's go to the next match. A we got Natalya versus a recruiting. So Kiana James making her Raw debut in her first match against Natalya. So Kiana James, she came out and the crowd was completely quiet. I guess no one doesn't know who Kiana James is. I know her because I watched her on NXT. But she's a good competitor. And I'm like, it's clear as day who's gonna win. Look, Natalya is a Hall of Famer, no doubt it. I don't think she's announced that she's a Hall of Famer, but she deserves a Hall of Fame. But Natalya, she needs to like retire. She's slow now. She's old. I love her. She's hot, but I mean, sorry Tyson. But she just like if she's not in her prime. Natalya, like she's just not. Kiana James was just dominating this match. Kiana hitting the 401k to pick up the victory. Kiana James, what a debut match for her. I mean, I kind of guessed it. It was easy to guess. Make your Raw debut or make your SmackDown debut, and then you just win. Kiana James defeats Natalya by pitfall. What are your thoughts?
Great pickup win for Kiana James. It's good for her. It's sad to see Natalya going out like this, but she is at the end of her career. It's definitely good for her to get. It will be great for her to get another push going forward before she retires. For her to get another championship under her belt, we'll definitely have to see how that goes. Um, it'll be wonderful to see it happen because I think she's one of the last members of the Hart Dynasty. They are still there wrestling at that level, and we'll have to see how it goes with her going forward. Along with Kiana James, she has a bright future ahead of her, and in the women's division. So kudos to her.
All right, moving on to the next match. We got Carlito versus Braun Strowman. So that's like, God. Okay. So Judgment Day actually asked Carlito, "You want to earn your spot? Then go and face Braun Strowman." Like that's a death wish right there for Carlito. Look, Carlito actually put up a fight against Braun Strowman. Like it only lasted like a few seconds. Carlito had some nice moves, and then Braun Strowman was just too much. Braun Strowman, my God, Braun Strowman punches Carlito in the chest, and then I think, yeah, it was JD McDonough. JD McDonough ran interference. I believe Dom was there. No, just JD McDonough because JD McDonough faced Braun Strowman last week. Yeah, how the fuck did that work out for you, JD, last week? But then Braun Strowman. Oh yeah, Finn Balor was there, and then um, Carlito took advantage of the kind of tried to take advantage of the interference, but Braun Strowman denied the backstabber, and then Braun Strowman hit the choke slam on Carlito to win the match. Braun Strowman defeats Carlito by pitfall, but then after the match, the Judgment Day tries to gang up on Strowman, but you gotta know Strowman won't go down easy. He's strong, and then Dominic Mysterio responded, and then that's when oh yeah, Dominic Mysterio came up behind Braun Strowman with a steel chair, and then Braun Strowman was like karate chopped it out of his hand, and then Dom was like, "Oh God, that didn't work out," and then he threw Dominic Mysterio to the ground, and then he started to chase a crawling Dominic Mysterio, and it's like I called it right here. It's like Liv is gonna come out and stop this. Watch, watch, watch. Liv is gonna come out. Once that happened, once Dom was crawling back like this, and then Braun was going after him, I knew Liv was coming out. It's like Liv is coming out. Watch, and then what do you know? Liv Morgan coming out of nowhere to stop Braun Strowman protecting Dom, and then it looked like they almost kissed again after, and that's when the Judgment Day was able to gang up on Strowman. JD McDonough hitting the steel chair on Braun Strowman's leg over and over again. That didn't look good. So thanks to Liv Morgan, the Judgment Day actually was able to gang up on Strowman. And then in terms of Dom and Liv, they almost kissed again. And then that's when Finn Balor once again interfered. So what are your thoughts on this?
How many times? This is the second time you've seen the Judgment Day just going after somebody, attacking them from behind, doing their dastardly deeds on people, and just trying to take out their competition. Honestly, this is just a pattern we've seen week on, week off. We've seen them attacking people from behind, doing whatever they want to do, and just trying to do it with we knew that the match between Carlito and Braun Strowman was not gonna it wasn't gonna happen. Carlito tried to win fairly, but it wasn't enough. So he had to have help that tried to help him win. It wasn't enough, and it it's just it's just a common thread. If you can't win by yourself, you got to win in numbers. And Liv Morgan is doing what she needs to do to get herself into the Judgment Day. And I'd say this is a good way for them to save their butts, from getting destroyed by Braun Strowman because Dominic Mysterio, let's be honest, Dominic Mysterio would have been chokeslammed by Braun Strowman onto the steel steps had not Liv saved him from that happening, along with all the other members of the Judgment Day. Not even Damian Priest stepped in to save Dominic Mysterio. What is going on with Damian Priest? Honestly, he should be there for his brothers.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the next part. We got Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. They're actually on Monday Night Raw, so they actually got invited by Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark. Because if you guys don't remember, a couple weeks ago, Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark won a number one contenders fatal four-way tag team match, so they have the right to challenge Bianca and Jade. So they got invited to Monday Night Raw by Shayna Baszler and Zoey, and the two teams had a argument, and though we start saying that they're scared, and that's when they want to challenge them right now. So that's when Bianca said, "Oh, you want to have the titles? Then it will be right here on Raw." So basically, they want to have the title match right now tonight in this Raw, and that's when Adam Pearce saying that, hold on, want to make sure we're on the same, because Adam Pearce said he normally doesn't put titles on the line on the fly. And then he's like, "Do you want this match?" So it's official. The Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill will defend the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship right off the bat, right there, against Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark. So any thoughts before I recap the match?
It's pretty exciting to see that Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler are getting their time. It's their time. This is their second title opportunity because they lost to the judge. They lost to Damage Control the last time. It's exciting to see what they're gonna do. I'm pretty sure that because they are a dangerous team. We're gonna have to see how they do against them.
Yeah, so talking about this match, I'm kind of like, Bianca and Jade should retain. That'd be crazy if Zoe and Shayna Baszler can win it right here. It looked like Bianca and Jade had this match won. It was a great match. Shayna Baszler, she's dangerous, but then it got ruined. So basically, it went back and forth. But then the unholy union attacked Bianca Belair and Jade, forcing a disqualification. So that's basically what happened. So the unholy union attacks Bianca. So they're from Scotland. They're Alba Fire, and I forgot the other girl's name. But they were on Smackdown, but they're from Scotland. They attacked both. They attacked Bianca and Jade, along with Shayna Baszler and Zoey Stark, ending in a disqualification. So that sucks. But Bianca and Jade are still your women's tag team champions due to disqualification. With your thoughts?
That's a shocking right there. I mean, honestly, the unholy union is coming out and attacking both of them. We're probably going to see a triple threat match right there for the tag team titles. So, it would have been nice to see who's going to be the new champion, who's going to retain, but then they
People are
got the
saying
third person
because
coming
the
in.
Holy Union are from Scotland, it's going to be Bianca and Jade versus those two at the Clash of the Castle. So we have to see what happens.
Oh, I think it's going to be a
Because
triple
I think
threat
they should
match.
do that. The unholy union, they haven't had a really good push. Like on when they were on SmackDown, it was horrible. They were to be nowhere to be found. They deserve a trip. They deserve a push. So this is your opportunity to do it, Adam Pearce or Nick Aldis. Book the unholy unions to face Bianca and Jade in their hometown. They're from Scotland, so do it. This is a good push for them right here. So we have to see what happens. But
Yeah,
moving
see what
on, we
happens.
got Jay Uso. So I'm not going to talk too much because of the length of this video. Jay Uso basically came out and announced that he'll be competing in this year's Money in the Bank ladder match to grab the briefcase. So the first Money in the Bank participant is announced. Jay Uso announced his entrance to the Money in the Bank ladder match, which is going to be crazy. So we have to see what happens. So that's that. So moving on to the next match, we got the New Day, Austin Creed and Kofi Kingston versus the Authors of Pain with the Final Testament. And obviously, because this match happened, Karrion Kross actually been stalking Kofi and Xavier. Karrion Kross is actually trying to break up the New Day and saying that, oh, Xavier, Kofi, all he does is carry your trumpet. Oh, all he does is be your wing guy. He has a point. I feel like New Day isn't as they used to be without Big E. I agree with Karen Cross. Actually, the fact that I don't really like breaking up the New Day, but Xavier deserves a single push and Kofi deserves a single push, and then that's when the New Day challenged the Author of Pain. But it didn't work out because Karen Cross distracted Kofi, I believe, and that's when the Authors of Pain with a huge power bomb, connects with Austin Creed with a what a rush to pick up the victory. The Authors of Pain defeats the New Day by pinfall. Karen Cross is like, "I told you so." When going back to the backstage after the match, and it looked like Austin Creek was saying to Kofi, "Where the fuck are you?" So we could see a breakup going on with New Day. Probably Karen Cross is probably right. So what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, yes, the New Day has been together for such a long time. We probably do need to see a singles push going forward. However, I can see the New Day recruiting a new member to because the Big E is no longer there, and the Big E has been out of WWE for a long time. So it would make sense for the New Day to recruit Apollo Crews to the New Day. That would make sense for that to happen if they could recruit somebody else on the roster. I could see them recruiting the Street Profits, Bobby Lashley, possibly. They if they can do that, if they can join themselves with another faction, that would do wonders for them as a tag team and reinvent themselves. That will allow them to reinvent themselves going forward. So, I mean, it would be sad to see them break up. It would be sad to see them break up, but at the same time, I would love to see them reinvent themselves into a new tag team.
All right, so moving on to the main event of this Monday Night Raw, we got the World Heavyweight Champion Damian Priest going one-on-one with the Hall of Famer Rey Mysterio. So don't want to talk too much about this match. It was a great match. Don't get me wrong because of the video. Holy shit. But at the end, it was. I actually thought Rey Mysterio had this match in a box. Like Rey Mysterio was able to hit the 619 on Damian Priest. Mysterio drops the dime for the 2 count. It's like, nah, there's no way. Yep, 2 count. But that'll be a huge upset if Rey Mysterio could defeat Damian Priest. But then Carlito once again gets distracted. But because of that, thankfully Dragon Lee was there to pull Carlito out of the ring apron. And that's when the Judgment Day jumps. That's when the Judgment Day starts jumping Dragon Lee from behind. That's when Damian Priest took advantage of Rey Mysterio from the top rope, hits the South of Heaven chokeslam, defeating Rey Mysterio. Damian Priest defeats Rey Mysterio in the main event, but then after the match, Drew McIntyre blindsides Damian Priest from behind. Damian Priest drops Damian Priest with the Future Shock DDT, and Drew McIntyre poses with the World Heavyweight title. He get a little cocky. The Drew McIntyre clothesline Balor, headbutts Carlito, and then belly to JD McDonough. That's when he was pissed off. He clears the announce table. Then he talks smack to Michael Cole. That's what happens when you get distracted. Damon Priest takes advantage, choke slams McIntyre through the announce table to close the show. The Judgment Day stands tall over Drew McIntyre, who's hurting, getting put in the announce table. That's exactly what's your problem, McIntyre. You get distracted. What are your thoughts?
This is just like a repeat of WrestleMania. Drew McIntyre gets distracted. He gets put through the table. Or not put through the table, but he gets chokeslammed and he gets the win. And he gets defeated by Damian Priest thanks to CM Punk right there. What's the deal with him
No,
talking smack to
It
Michael
wasn't
Cole?
CM Punk. It just he got distracted talking to Michael Cole, and that's when Priest took advantage, and then that's when he choked Slam McIntyre for the table.
Honestly, Drew McIntyre needs to get over.
His
Drew
distractions is not
McIntyre.
his distractions ain't gonna win him a championship. I'm telling you guys. Spoiler alert: Damon Priest is gonna defeat Drew McIntyre at Clash of the Castle. That's just me. But I wouldn't be surprised if CM Punk once again screws Drew. But we can talk about that when we do our prediction
Yeah,
videos. Go on.
yeah. I was gonna say, yeah, definitely CM Punk will be there. I definitely see CM Punk being there and being a thorn in Drew McIntyre's eye and in his face, and just he will be there to just distract him and cost him the opportunity to win his championship back at Clash of the Castle. And if that happens, Drew McIntyre will be a laughing stock in Scotland. So man, that can definitely happen. I think it's great to see that Rey Mysterio still has it in him that he can definitely pull off an upset win, and it's great to see that he was almost able to do that. And where was the rest of the LWO, man? Only Dragon Lee was there to save Rey Mysterio from getting distracted, man. But where's the rest of the
We all
LWO?
know.
Where
We
are
all know
the
why.
other
We all
members?
know Dominic. We all know why Dominic wasn't there.
Yeah, we know why Dominic wasn't there, but this is the prime opportunity for the other two members. There's Zelina Vega. You don't need Zelina Vega there. We have the other two members of the OWO.
I mean, I
Only
think they're
Dragon Lee was
the
there to
only
help.
issue is the two guys are hurt. He got attacked backstage and he's taking time off. Both of them are taking time off.
Ah, geez.
Yeah.
I mean, come on now. You can definitely pull somebody off the roster to help you out. Besides Dragon Lee, I mean, there's a bunch of other guys that can help you out
All right.
against the
Yeah.
Judgment Day.
So that will do it for our Monday Night Raw recap. In terms of grading, I give this was an amazing show. A little weird on the Liv Morgan segment. I mean, she just like wants Dom that bad, but I give this a plain A. How about you?
I'm gonna give it a B minus. I mean, here's the reason why, right? I'll give it a B plus, right? And so I'll change it to a B plus. Here's the reason why. Dominic Mysterio and Liv Morgan, we know the situation going on between them. We know there's some stuff going on between them, but they're not going to admit it yet. Dominic, obviously, I was going to mention this before. When Liv Morgan was touching Dominic, Dominic's nose flared. Okay, Dominic's nose flared up, and then you saw his little. You could tell by his facial expressions that he didn't want it, but he wanted it, but he didn't want it. He had a little.
Okay,
He
we don't
was a
have to
little
talk about what's going on in his
Okay,
body.
we're
Okay.
not going to talk about that. But going forward, the other matches, everything and everything in between, it was great. The Dragonov versus Bron Breakker was great. We're gonna see a revenge match right there. There's a lot of great matches there. I would have loved to see, Rey Mysterio almost got his win. But it is what it is.
All right.
Chad Gable, and it was great. So
All right, but anyway, guys, that would do it for our broadcast. Thank you guys for watching. My name is Bruin Steele. This is Canadian Yorker. If you haven't done so, check out Canadian Yorker's channel, which is gonna be in the description of this video. Check out WWE Wrestling Bros, which is our wrestling channel. The link to the YouTube channel will be in the link of the description as well. Will be in the description of this video as well. So be sure to do that. But anyways, we will see you guys next time. My name is Bruce Steele, this is Canadian Yorker, and we are out. Take care, guys.
take care.